Okay, in this section, we're going to be graphing our circles. And a reminder, the standard form of the equation of a circle, again, is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared. And again, the h and k would be the center. That would be how we translate it. We move it right or left or up or down. And r equal to r squared, where r would be the radius. So therefore, now let's identify the center and the radius, and then we're going to graph these. So let's zoom in so we can see it better. Our first one got moved left 2 and up 5. So left 2, up 5. The center would be at negative 2, 5. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would be right here. Our radius is right here. This would be r squared. So therefore, to actually find the radius, we're going to take the square root of that, which would be 3. Now, what we're going to do to actually graph that circle, go to your center and go right 3, go down 3, or left 3, go down 3, and go up 3. Those 4 points are on your circle, so you can graph the circle from there. Now I'm going to use my circle graphing tool because I can't draw a straight circle. Next problem. Number 2 says, let me erase that, your center got shifted right 7. So 7, and there's no value on the y, so 7, 0 will be your center. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 0 right there is the center. Here's the radius of your circle. That's r squared. So the radius would be the square root of that, which would still be 1. So therefore, the points on your circle would be right 1, left 1, down 1, up 1. And you can go diagonal 1, but you can't hardly tell where that would be. It'd be somewhere right in here. If you went diagonal the same amount, so that would be your circle. And here's what it would look like. Okay, the next problem. Number 3 says these equations are not in standard form. So we've got to somehow get them in standard form first and then identify the center and radius. Now the first one's going to be pretty easy. All 3 of these terms are divisible by 5. So when we divide by 5, that gives me x squared plus y squared equals 16. The center of that has not been shifted, so 0, 0 would still be the center. The radius would be 4. So therefore, let's graph this. If the center is at 0, 0, we're going to go up 4, down 4, right 4, and 1, 2, 3, left 4. And we're going to draw our circle from there. And there's your circle. The next one. Again, this one's not in standard form, but all we have to do is take this minus x squared and move it over to change it to a plus x squared. Now this is already a positive, so we're going to leave that plus sign. It's hard to think of this as a single term, but it's all being squared, so it's a single plus sign, same way as the x squared. So there's your circle now. It's been shifted left to right, none, and then down 3, so that's going to have a center at 0, negative 3. The radius squared is here, so that means your radius would be 5. Let's graph this circle. It has a center at 0, negative 3, and a radius of 5. So here's 0, negative 3. Let's go. Radius of 5 would be down 5 and up 5. Right 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then just simply connect the dots. And there's your circle. Next one. Now this one, again, you have 3 terms. Here, here, and all 3 of those terms are divisible by 2. And I'm going to go ahead and divide first, and that's going to give me an x minus 1 squared minus 4 is equal to negative y plus 6 squared. Now it's just moving terms around. I'm going to move my minus 4 over here and my y stuff over here. So you have x minus 1 squared. The minus here changes to a plus. Y plus 6 squared equals the negative 4 turns into a minus or positive 4. So there's your circle. So the center got moved right 1, down 6, right 1, down 6. The radius squared is here, so therefore the radius would be 2. So the center is at 1, negative 6, and the radius is going to be 2. So 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 6 right there. The radius is 2, so let's go 2 in all directions. Right, left, down, and up from the center, and just connect your dots. Okay, the next one gives you this. Now this one's a little bit different. Examples with completing the square. Anytime it's in this form to where you have x squared stuff and x stuff, or y squared and y stuff, here's what you're going to do. Group your x stuff, leave a space, and group all your y stuff. And if it had y stuff in there with it, you would leave a space there as well. Any constants, move to the other side. And what we're going to do to get this in the form that we want it in is we're going to complete the square. We're going to take all of our x stuff here, complete the square, and again, if you don't remember the way you do that, take your middle term, half it, and multiply it times itself. That's not legal unless you add it to both sides. Next step, since we have completed the square, now let's factor it. This is going to factor into x times x, gives you the x squared. And you can do two sets of parentheses, but if you did this correctly, it should be a perfect square, so we won't need it. It should be something squared. What adds to give me 6, multiplies to give you 9 will always be half of this, which is the plus 3. And now that's in the form we like it in. The plus y squared had no friends, so therefore there was nothing to group with it. Negative 5 plus 9 on the other side is equal to 4, and now we have it in the form we want it in. This shifted your circle left 3 and up or down 0, so therefore the center is at negative 3, 0. Here's the r squared, so therefore the radius would be 2. So negative 3, 0 is the center. The radius is going to be 2, so let's go 2 in all directions. Right, left, up, and down, and then connect your dots. And there's your circle. Next problem. Same thing, group your x stuff and your y stuff. X stuff, there's only x squared, so you really don't have to leave a space. Plus y squared, let's move our 6y over by subtracting. You now have negative 4y. Leave a space for completing the square is equal to 32. To complete this square, we're going to take half of this term and multiply it by itself. So there's my completed square. So that turns my equation into x squared plus. This should now be a perfect square when you factor it. And I always forget this. If you add 4 to one side, make sure you add it to both sides. This will always factor into what adds to give you this, multiplies to give you this will always be half of this term. So y minus 2 squared is equal to 36. So the center got moved 0 and 2. So 0, 2 is going to be the center. This is r squared, so your radius would have to be 6. So 0, 2 is the center, which is here. A radius of 6. Let's go 6 in all directions. And there's your points. Now let's connect our dots. And I'm again going to use my circle tool. And there's what your circle would look like. Next problem. Again, we're going to group our x stuff and our y stuff. So I have x squared. Let's move this 14x over with it. Leave a space because I'm going to complete this square. And you have plus y squared. Move the 2y from the other side by doing minus 2y. Leave a space, and there's my y stuff. Equals, leave the constant on the other side. Complete each square. Half, multiply times itself gives you 49. Don't forget it on the other side like I usually do. Half, multiply it by itself, gives you a positive 1, add it to both sides. After that, you always will factor next step. X, this will adds, multiplies will be a positive 7 and a positive 7. Next one, y times y gives you the y squared. Adds, multiplies is always going to be half of this, which would be the minus 1. The other side, negative 41 plus 50 is a positive 9. So now it's in the form you like it in. Moves it left 7, moves it up 1. So left 7, up 1, there's the center. R squared, so R is 3. So negative 7, 1 is your center, and the radius is 3. So there's your center. The radius, we're going to go 3 in all directions. And now let's connect our dots using whatever tool that you have. You can use a compass if you'd like, or you can try to freehand it. And there's your circle.